In life, you're going to have setbacks. Things are going to go wrong. Things are going to go bad. And in those moments, you are responsible for the outcome of that situation. We may fall, but you got to pick yourself up off the ground. And what I mean by that, maybe you lose your job. Maybe your lover leaves you. You get hurt. Something major happens in your life. And in those situations, you're responsible for the outcome. You determine the ending of your story. You can mope around, but at the end of the day, if you don't get up and do something about it, nothing is going to change. 8 months ago, my life was turned upside down, and I was broke. Barely had money to move out, move into my own place. I moved into basically apartment living for college students. It was a very humbling experience for me. I've been humbled many a times in life, but this was the first time in my life where I felt like I was going back into my 20s. I live in an apartment that's almost like what I lived in when I was in college, surrounded by college kids. There are some adults here that are not in school, but for the most part, it's college students. And it was very humbling. But I kind of had to swallow my pride a little bit, knowing that I'm living in the same type of housing that kids that are 18, 19 years old are living in. And honestly, I was embarrassed for a little bit when I had to admit to people that, I moved in. I mean, it's cheap. It's close to work. I can't really beat it for my current situation. I have no use to be living in an expensive living, but it was humbling. Moved into an apartment by myself. It was very empty. It was very, very empty apartment, and I kind of felt bad for myself for a minute. Kind of lived in my feelings for a bit, but I also knew that I couldn't move forward until I came up with a plan and took action and pushed forward. Because the past was the past at that point. There was no changing it. And in order for me to grow and to be the best person that I could be, I knew that I had to move forward. I had to suck it up. A lot of people don't like that saying, or the saying of rub some dirt in it and keep on moving forward. But that's the bottom line. You got to do it. It's going to suck. It's not fun. It's not fun moving forward whenever you're in your feelings and you're feeling like shit. You're feeling sorry for yourself, but you got to do it because the past is the past. You can't change it. You can't make that woman come back. You can't bring that job back that you lost. But what you can do is you can change the outcome of your story. And that's what I chose to do. 5 months ago, I couldn't afford my electric. My electric bill was almost $600 a month. Within 2 months of moving in, winter came, electric heat, a bill that was meant to be shared across 4 people in a normal apartment here. I live by myself, so I'm responsible for that bill. And that bill was almost $600. In order to save money, I damn near shut off the heat completely. There were some mornings I was waking up, it's 50 degrees in here. And I was waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym. And to be honest, it took a lot of discipline to do that. Waking up freezing, getting your ass up out of bed to go work out when it's cold. It's cold outside. It's cold inside. It's going to be cold whenever I go to take a shower. But once again, I was humbled. I understood that this was what I had to do to change my situation. At the time, I knew that I could not afford that bill and I needed to do something. I was looking for a part-time job. Couldn't find anything at the time. So that meant shutting your heat off for the most part. I'll turn it on sometimes, but for the most part, that heat was kept off. And it would get down into the mid 50s in here. And that was something that I had to do to be able to afford my situation. But I wasn't going to sit there and feel sorry for myself. I was going to get off my ass and do something about it. 2 months ago, I picked up a part-time job. Another humbling experience. I was talked down to. The guy acted like it was one of the guys that worked there. He asked me like it was my first job. Like, no, this is not my first job. I'm a 34-year-old disabled man. Does not mean it's my first job. Like, that's like looking down on me. And I work with the public, and the public can be really shitty, and it's very humbling. I found myself the other night, I was mopping the floor of this business. And in that moment, I was actually really thankful for the opportunity to be able to do that, because I knew that it's not going to be forever. It's going to be a period of my life. But I was actually grateful for it because, one, it humbled me, but two, it also made me grateful for the fact that I was given this opportunity to have this part-time job, to be able to make a second income. I picked up a third job. I start the third job here in a week, and my weekends are going to get a hell of a lot busier. And I've been picking up shifts when I can. I work my full-time job, and last night I worked 6 hours after my full-time job. I went and worked another 6 hours, and I didn't get home until 10:30 and in bed. And I got back up at 2 a.m. to go lift and do my cardio. And that's a commitment that I made to myself, that no matter what, it doesn't matter what's going on in my life, that's what I'm going to do. And it all comes down to mindset. With the right mindset, you can achieve anything in this world. But if you have a shitty mindset, you're not going to achieve anything. I've made this commitment to myself that for 365 days, I'm going to work out every single day. It doesn't matter what's going on in my life. It doesn't matter how I'm feeling. It doesn't matter who's in my life or how tired I am. I am going to work out every single day. And it comes down to my mindset. I've been biking a lot. And when I'm out on that bike, it doesn't matter if it's raining, it doesn't matter if it's cold, it doesn't matter what it is, I'm out there. And I found myself the other day, it was in the mid 40s, and it was pouring down rain. And I actually found myself smiling at one point. I realized in that moment, I was just grateful. Grateful that I get the opportunity to be out here doing the damn thing. Keeping the promise that I made to myself, and just happy that the direction of my life is going in. And what I like about cardio is it's not like lifting weights. Lifting weights, I feel like I really have to focus on what I'm doing. But cardio, it's my thinking time. I'm able to think about my life. I'm able to think about where I'm at and the direction that I want to take my life. And lately, I've been continuing to try to manifest my future, and nonstop just thinking about the future of what I want, my goals, where I'm going with my life. And I was just thankful, man, absolutely thankful. The opportunities that have been given to me in the last 8 months, but also I've worked my ass off for these opportunities. And, growing up, I wasn't given the opportunity to work. And the fact that I was able to go and not just get one job, not one part-time job, but two part-time jobs. And I believe because I went in there with the confidence that I'm going to give it my best try, and I want them to know what kind of worker I am and how hard working I am, and that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to better myself. And I explained them my situation, and they're like, "Why do you want another job?" And I'm like, "I want to change my financial situation so bad. I want money in the bank by the end of the year, like big money, and I'm willing to do whatever that takes." And along the process, you're gonna look crazy, man. I know people think I'm crazy. Getting up in the middle of the night. I mean, getting up at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning to go lift weights and bike, middle of the night. And in that moment, I'm alive. I'm free. And it's just me, those weights, and that bike, in the middle of the night, the darkness and me. And there's no greater feeling that the rest of the world is sleeping. And even if it's not, I tell myself that because that shit is so motivating. And I'm just so thankful that I get to be out there doing the damn thing. Come back and burned over 1,200 calories. It's such an amazing feeling to be doing it. To be also be grateful for the fact that, God gave me two working arms to be able to do it. I may not be able to use my legs, but I have two working arms and I'm out there doing it for myself, doing it for a better me, a better future. It hasn't been easy, and it has taken months and months of frustration and not feeling like I'm going anywhere, just spinning my wheels. And to finally start to see a glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel has been an amazing feeling. And I will tell you what, it has made it all worth it. And to be honest, I'm grateful for everything that has happened to me because it has given me the chance to really show myself what I'm made of and rebuild my life, a new beginning, a fresh start. A lot of people don't get that opportunity. A lot of people they get married and they get fat and that's their life and they're miserable with each other. But here I am. I've been given a fresh start, a new beginning, an opportunity to, grow, to be the best man that I can be. And I've done that. I've put everything I have into me. And currently in my life, there's no distractions. There's no women. There's no side pieces. There's no nothing. It's me, work, working out, occasional hanging out with my friends and my family. But I'm grinding, man. I'm getting after it every single fucking day, man. And I'm loving every second of it. And I tell people all the time that I'm the type of person that I feel like I thrive when I'm backed up against the wall. I thrive when I have to grind and fight, scratch and claw my way out of something. That I go all in. And this has been a really humbling experience, and I'm truly grateful for every single second of it. Don't get me wrong, there's been times where it has really sucked, you know, not being able to make ends meet or laying there in the middle of the night stressing out. And then one day I stopped. I stopped stressing and I told myself that no matter what, you're going to get through the situation. And it doesn't matter what it takes. You're going to come out stronger and better. You're going to come out on top. And ultimately, it came down to my mindset. My mindset shifted. I brought out that positive mindset. It's so easy to go to a negative mindset. And I still do that sometimes. But you have to bring yourself around to the positive side. Because you get in that negative mindset, nothing's going to change. But you also have to be willing to do whatever it takes if you truly want to better your situation. If you truly want to fix your life, you got to get up off your ass and do the damn thing. There's a lot of guys, they'll get disabled. They'll become disabled. They'll be in an accident, like a car accident, or fall out of a tree. And I believe that those are the biggest sink or swim moments. And some of them, they never make anything of themselves. And unfortunately, some of them end up committing suicide. And in those moments, I guess I just look at those moments and I think to myself that you truly have to go all in those situations or you're never going to have a life. And it's frustrating because I have talked to people that have had accidents, and they almost look down on me because I was born paralyzed. So from birth up, you know, I've always been like this. I've always been paralyzed. I used crutches and a wheelchair. I've never gotten the chance to know what it's like to walk. But exactly, I never got the chance to walk. You know, I've had to figure out shit my entire life. Yes, my situation may be different, and I learned from birth, but also from birth there was nobody there. There wasn't nobody there. Obviously I had my parents there, but I had to figure things out. I had to figure out how to make friends and go to school and get up the steps, get on the steps, and going from the wheelchair, the crutches, the braces, the walker. I had to figure it out. And the different stages of a teenage boy using crutches and just, accepting the fact that I was different at a young age, not being an adult. But it all came down to mindset. And just like anybody that has an accident, it all comes down to mindset. Yeah, your situation sucks, but what are you willing to do to change it? What are you willing to do to fix it? Positivity. You've got to be positive. Nothing will change for you. You will not grow. You will not come out of it stronger. It all comes down to what are you willing to do to change your situation? Here I am. It's mid-May. Honestly, I haven't been happier. I'm this is probably one of the happiest times of my life. And I have no time for myself. Like no time. I'm working close to 70 hours a week right now. My weekends are going to consist of basically working from 5:30 until almost 6 o'clock at night, Saturday and Sundays. But man, we're grinding, baby. We're getting after it. And I'm so grateful that I get the opportunity to be able to get up every single day and chase my fucking dreams and do it all by myself. And it's been such a humbling experience. And I'm so grateful that I get the opportunity to do the damn thing. So get up off your ass and go all in. You can make excuses all day, but ultimately, if you're not going to do anything about it, if you're not going to go all in, put effort into it, if you're not going to pick up a second job, apply to 100 places until you get a job, just continue to work at it, or go to the gym, show up, set that alarm. You're never going to change your life. What are you willing to do for change? What are you willing to do? Got to go all in, man. Go all in. It's you versus you. Go all in. Until next time, guys. Later.